Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. When we look at a number of placements in different houses and signs for different planets, and then we look at how the planet will be placed in the D9, then more or less overall we are looking at what are the results can we look at as the planet giving us as a probability. And usually we may end up having a more or less a realistic assessment where the planet may end up us with respect to especially which houses it rules and its karakatvas, what it is the karak of. So more or less we know that this is what is slated for us, is probable for us. However, if we want to know, for example, what kind of karakatva the planet will be giving us or what is more probable, then we need to look into the aspect of the qualities of the planet deeper, aligned to its placement and its rulership in the horoscope and the karakatvas that it stands for. So what I want to do is, because we have already talked about placements and signs and houses and all that, I want to get more deeper into how can we arrive at a more closer and more realistic assessment of what is the quality of life, what is the attribute that a planet will be able to give us or promising us, and what we can work towards, where we will have to work harder for the results of that planet, where there may things be easier for us. So today I want to talk about how Venus, the planet Venus, can be connected to the quality of life that we have, because that is what Venus stands for amongst the other things. And how do we look at which areas of our life Venus promises us better results, which areas of life related to Venus we may not get very good results. So here I am going to talk about different areas of life that Venus is aligned to, attached to, is the karak of, and talk about that. In subsequent videos I will go more in depth about each of the areas. For example, if you are talking about looks, if you are talking about the quality of food, if you are talking about the kind of house you live in, if you are talking about the looks that you have, if you are talking about your romantic life, if you are talking about your intimacy in your life, if you are talking about long committed relationship you are going to have, if you are talking about your earnings, all these areas that Venus is related to. So I am going to talk about in a nutshell, how do you see in today's video, through today's video, in a nutshell, how we can look at or ascertain which results Venus is likely promising us more and promising us less. But in subsequent videos we will elaborate on each of these areas in more detail. Now before we go on, and the weather is fantastic, and you can see in the background, this is the background which I can see from my balcony. So this is not the background I am seeing where I am sitting, but I still wanted to share with you the kind of beautiful environment it has become outside, and I've kept my windows open, so please excuse me for some of the sounds. I'll try and filter them out. Still they come in through, please bear with me. So now let's talk about and get into more details about Venus and attributes of Venus, through which you can ascertain what kind of quality of life Venus is giving you, making more probable for you. So for example, one thing which is important to see whether Venus is strong or not in your horoscope is that what kind of household you are born in. If you are born in an affluent household, generally you will find that your Venus is strong. Secondly, what kind of financial results came into the family after you are born. Sometimes it so happens, and I've made a video also on that how a childbirth in the family can also affect the affluence of the family, the rise of the family, and some good fortune befalling the family also. So when you are born, did it change the attributes or the financial attributes of the household, or some great news came in for a business, or your dad got a great promotion, your mom did very well, or your quality of life of the household including your parents changed dramatically, then what kind of a child were you? If you have Venus strong, then it will affect your looks in some way or the other. So maybe you are somebody who's very beautiful to look at, maybe on the fairer side related to the community that you are born in, and you could also be having more sharper looks, more softer looks, more beautiful looks. When people look at you, people may say, what a beautiful baby. All babies are beautiful, but some babies may stand out more than the others, may look more cuter, rather than being, all babies don't look alike, we all know that. Then as you grew, how did that strong Venus, whatever quality of Venus we have, How did it add to our overall quality of life? For example, what kind of food habits did we develop? What kind of grooming habits did we develop? What kind of hygiene habits did we develop? Because Venus is related to hygiene. Venus is related to people grooming themselves better. Venus is related to how when you are growing up, you look better and better, more and more beautiful with each passing day, and you want to dress up better, you want to wear some beautiful perfumes, and you want to have good labels. Usually people with strong Venus, good Venus, will want to wear good labels. They will want to dress up well, even when they go out to have fun with their friends. They will be probably the better looking people in terms of what they are wearing, also how they are overall looking, also how they are groomed as well. Then they may also have more refined tastes according to food or about food. They may not want to eat anything and everything. Only in very dire situation where a person with a strong Venus will make do with what they have. But generally they would want to go to a good brand of ice cream, good brand of restaurant, good brand of clothing that they want to wear, good brand of perfume they want to wear. So this is a person, when you offer them a perfume, they will say, they look around the bottle and say, which brand is it? And they will want to know more about the perfume. If you are giving them shoes, they will ask you, which label is it? If somebody tells you that we are going to fly, they will ask, which airline are we traveling in? If you tell them we are going to go to a beautiful resort, even for a holiday, they will ask, which kind of hotel we are living in? Is it a 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, whatever? If the father says, if the parent says, I'm going to buy a car, they will ask, which kind of car are you going to buy? Are you going to buy the top model within that car if you don't have money, or you're going to go for the base model? Then they may ask, is it cruise control? Is it sports car? So number of refined likes may also come in the growing up years of the child, even when the child has no say, no contribution to the quality of life, that it is just an aspiration they have. Then what kind of pocket money did they get? Usually with a strong Venus, usually people will have access to easier money than the others, or at least the resources may come in. It will be easy for them that if they want to see a movie somewhere, somehow the resources come in, they can watch a movie. If they want a good label, somewhere somehow somebody will give them a label, or parents will give them a gift, or on their birthdays will get good gifts. And usually they will also try to keep good company. They also want to have more affluent friends. Obviously, if you have affluent friends, you will get good quality of gifts also. And relatives, your relatives also know that you like a more upmarket label, so they may put in more effort to give you a gift which is slightly more upmarket. So sometimes you may get a shoe or a dress which is slightly of a better label than even your brother or your sister, or they may also get a good label because you have a certain liking. So they are giving you a good label. The poor guys may end up giving a good label, a good brand to your brothers and sisters. So your siblings may also indirectly benefit from you. Then the kind of romances that you attracted while you are growing up in your teenage years, also you will be a little more choosy. Even your school romances will be with somebody who is the most sought after person, girl or boy. And because you are also good looking, you may also attract attention of people who are better looking in school, better looking even also in high school or even in college or university. And the quality of Venus will also determine how were you with your partner. Were you more romantic? Were you more caring? Were you somebody who was more chivalrous? Were you more graceful? What kind of language did you use? Did you go out for dates on more upmarket places, more suave places, more sophisticated places? The kind of people with whom you hung around with your partner. And were you more loving? Were you more desirous? Were you more passionate? Were you more intimate, needing more intimacy? And then while growing up, what kind of gifts you gave? Of course, everybody who has a strong Venus likes to get good gifts, but what did you do when it came to gift giving? I remember a movie scene I had seen long back. I was in my teenage years and I was seeing this movie with my friends. It was more like a teenage romantic movie. I don't even know which language it was. Subtitles were running. So we were watching that movie, and in that movie there is the scene where there is this boy, or the protagonist, or this guy who is the hero of the movie, and he just gets married. And his mother comes home. He invites his parents over, and when they come home, the mother looks that her daughter-in-law, this guy's wife, she seems to have a number of handbags. She has a number of shoes. So she asks the spouse of her son that is the daughter-in-law, how did you get so many bags and shoes? Where? You just got married. So she says, all of these were given to be my Jack. Then the mother says, oh, Jack is so loving to you. I wish his father was as loving to me. So the spouse says that no, this is not because of his more loving nature. This is more because of his more Casanova nature. So his mom asks, what do you mean? She says that he checks out other girls even while I'm with him. And because this is the punishment for him, I don't like to scream, shout when he's checking out other girls. So what I do is I make him pay. So every time he checks out other girls in front of me, I get him to buy a expensive gift for me. So usually I like good shoes and good bags. That's how I've ended up collecting so many. So the mother now tries to save poor Jack because she thinks all his money will go. So she says that this is how he was since he was a childhood. This is his habit. It is not that he is a Casanova. Since he was a boy 7 or 8 years of age, this is how he was. He just was more curious. So Jack's father says, yeah, he was very, very curious. Even when he was 6 or 7, he always liked to look up girls' skirts because he was so curious. Mother thinks, what is he doing? So there will be a certain quality of Venusian, romantic, passionate nature also creeping into the person. So one has to watch out if one has very strong Venus also, because there could also be a Cupid striking us more often. And if Rahu plays the spoil sport, then we can also become a Casanova, girl or boy. And then when you get to work, whenever you will be choosing a career, what kind of industries you will work. So usually with a strong Venus, people will like to work in either the IT sector or something connected to finance, money, wealth management, financial management, working with other people's money, working in banks, working in financial institutions also, where money is connected in somehow or the other, or calculation of money, or working with other people's money, or advising or consulting or guiding other people, or the IT sector, because IT is also related to technology, and Venus is also related to technology, especially connected to the household conveniences, all the more upmarket household conveniences like double door refrigerators, the beautiful luxury car, the big television, home decor, interior designing, real estate construction of the upmarket type. All of these industries Venus will be related to. Or the hospitality industry, for example, 5-star hotels, 5-star resorts, 5-star or upmarket spas. So anything concerned with glamour or upmarket food industry, upmarket fashion labels, anything and everything including glamour, movies, magazines, all of this Venus is concerned with. So the person may end up working in all of these industries, so related to some of these industries. Or if the person doesn't have a great lifestyle, or the person is not very rich, then the person may end up working in these companies maybe as somebody who's a factory worker. But if he or she is a factory worker, then they'll work in a label which is churning out upmarket labels. He may be a mechanical engineer working for a Ferrari company, for example. Or he may be somebody who makes products more refined, who polishes things, or he works on dresses or models, or he is a fashion photographer, or he is a dress designer for models or for the stars. And so this person may like to work with those kind of people who are more upmarket also, who are themselves more sophisticated, who are also more of the Venusian kind. Then what kind of partner will you ultimately settle with? What kind of home will you buy, purchase, construct? Then how will you bring up your kids? What values will you give them? How liberal a person you may be, how liberal a parent you will be, and then what will you do for your financial security? What kind of quality of life or lifestyle you will maintain? Then what kind of friends will you keep company with? What kind of holidays you will want to go? So overall, strong Venus will affect all of these areas of your life, right from when you are born, from the kind of household you are born, from your looks to your upbringing, to what kind of labels you will want, what kind of romances you will get into, what kind of work that you will do, what kind of home you will build, what kind of spouse you will end up getting married to in the end, what kind of financial planning you will do. However, it's not only strong Venus who will be related to all of these areas. What will happen if you have a strong Venus, for example? However, if you don't have a strong second house, so then you may get a lot of money, you may earn a lot of money, but you will not be able to save. So at any given point of time, people may feel you have such an affluent lifestyle, but you have hardly any money in the bank because the second lord is not strong. It is not helping and supporting you. But if the second lord is very strong, but your fourth lord is not very strong, then what happens? A lot of money comes in, but for some or the other reason, you may have a still good affluent lifestyle. You may be able to wear good clothes, you may be able to dine and wine out, but you may not be able to save enough to build an asset which the fourth house represents. So you may still live in a small house. A lot of people who, for example, live in Manhattan, New York, they live in very small houses where they want to just save money. They're a little stingy on the house, but they have a very good lifestyle outside. They wine and dine in very good restaurants. They spend a lot of money on themselves, wearing good labels. They go to a lot of pubs and bars. They hang out with people who are more upmarket because that's a lifestyle they want. But they are not able to build an asset because they are not able to save enough, because their fourth house is not strong enough. On the other hand, if your second house is strong, your fourth house is strong, but your fifth house is not strong, then what happens? You may earn a lot of money, you may even save money, you may also be able to make good assets. However, if your fifth house is not strong, then you may have flings, very short-term romances. You may not have a long-term consistent romance with somebody who really want to be with. If you want to be with somebody, that person may treat you as a fling, maybe for a day or two, maybe for a few weeks, maybe for a few months. But the long-term, successful, committed relationship with somebody who is truly somebody who you desire, you will want to be with, that person may not come to your life. Your romances will be falling by the wayside. On the other hand, if you have a strong fourth house, but you have a bad sixth house, so what will happen? You may make an asset, you may make a good house, but you may make it through debts. You will have to take loans to be able to build a house. Then if you have a strong seventh house, which means you may marry somebody who may be good looking, who may be also more committed, loyal, but if you don't have a fourth house which is strong, that means you may marry somebody who loves and cares for you. You may be in a good relationship, long-term relationship. The person may also come from a good background, maybe an affluent background, but you are not able to give them a quality of life because your fourth house is not strong. You are not able to give them the home and the life's conveniences which will give you, or say that you can have a good upmarket life. And if your Venus is very strong, but your 10th house is not strong, which means that in your career you may end up working for a more Venusian quality of work. Maybe you're a chartered accountant, maybe you're working with some company which is related to finance management, maybe you're working for a company which makes life's conveniences, even upmarket conveniences. However, in your career, you're not able to grow good enough. You're not able to attract that kind of income. You're not able to grow faster because your 10th house is not very strong. And in the Venus related areas when you work, say for example in the IT sector, you're not able to grow faster enough because the 10th house is not strong. However, strong Venus may still give you a good house, may still give you good lifestyle. Maybe your spouse earns a lot. Maybe you have a doting father who may also be giving you. Maybe you made some investment somewhere because your fifth house is strong and you get some residual income because of which you're able to afford good lifestyle, but you may not get that great growth, great money from your work. On the other hand, if your 12th house is not very strong, but your 4th house is very strong, then what may happen? You may end up building big assets, good assets, beautiful houses, but you may be living more than what you earn. You may have a big loan, you may be living off your credit card because your lifestyle is so high. 12th house of losses and excess is coming into the picture. So my friends, depends on which house is supporting you or not and which planet is supporting you or not. Say for example, if your Venus is very strong but your Mercury is not strong enough, then what happens that you are somebody who may not be good at investment, you may not be good at making analytical decisions, wise decisions, and so you earn money, you spend all your money, but you're not able to do better financial planning, which Mercury helps you in. So depending overall in whether the house lords are supporting you, certain houses are strong or not, planets are supporting or not, Venus's strength will be able to influence some areas of your life, may not be able to serve you or strengthen some areas of your life, may not be able to give you some results of your life. So what you need to do is, even if you have a strong Venus, you need to look in which areas Venus is supporting more, which areas Venus is getting more support from by virtue of that house being strong, the house lord being strong, and allowing and working towards that area of life. So there it may be easier, you may be able to get better successes there. On the other hand, in those houses, those planets which are not supporting that area of life stronger, there, in spite of having a strong Venus, you may have to struggle. So keep this in mind and look at overall quality of life. Just because Venus is strong doesn't mean you will get good success in all areas of life. Some areas of life, Venus will give you better results. Some areas of life, Venus may not give you good results. People may be born in an affluent family, but they may not be able to keep their lifestyle continuing on their own. People may be able to marry a very good looking, very upmarket so-called spouse who may look like a model, but they may not be able to sustain the relationship long enough. So friends, it's not just about Venus being strong or Venus being exalted. It's also about whether you're getting ample support in other areas of thought. And so focus on those areas which is easier for you to be able to get good results from. But if you are truly aspiring of some area where the house lord and the Karakas of that particular area is not being supported by the planet, then work towards it. And only through hard work, only through dedication will that area will be served, irrespective what the status of Venus is in your horoscope. So friends, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me. The link is given below. Till some other time with some other video, this is your friend astrologer and guide Irfan signing off. Ciao.